is Christine, and I came here from Norway. Jeg kommer fra Norge. Today is the third day of my dry fast. It's the first day of the retreat. And let's see, my journey with Lyme began 11 years ago. I didn't really have any symptoms until after I gave birth, and then I had a child that didn't sleep through the night until they were 6 years old. So I was exhausted by then. They would wake up 10 times a night, and we didn't know what was wrong with her. And my friends would try to come over and help, and they would just say, I've never held a baby like this that couldn't be comforted. And so that began our journey, like, what is wrong with this child? And when they were 6, they were diagnosed with Lyme. And then I got tested, my husband got tested, so we all have Lyme disease. So we were living in Santa Cruz, California at the time. So of course we tried all the hippie approaches, alternative doctors, energy, healing, herbs. We then tried conventional treatment with antibiotics. We tried the Stephen Buhner protocol. During that whole thing, the only thing that really helped my child was the GAPS diet. And that's basically just meat and vegetables, and it allowed them to sleep through the night for the first time in their life. So it was restorative to their gut. So that was key for their well-being. We've also gone to a doctor in Poland last year, and we did the dual door test, and that's pretty cool. I don't know if everybody's heard of that, but they photograph your red blood cells from like 200 different angles, and you can see the spirochetes in your red blood cells, because many of the tests can't detect the antibodies, because you're not having an active immune response, because the little boogers are in your blood cells. So that was interesting. We tried his protocol for 2 months, and that didn't work. And then how I found dry fasting was, I'm a part of a Facebook group called the Copper Revolution. And I actually went on that protocol for 4 months, and you take high doses of copper sulfate, and it's like 30 milligrams a day. But you also have to take zinc and vitamin C and all these other supplements like 4 times a day. So it actually did help. It finally cleared up what I think is the mycoplasma that's been stuck in my lungs. I just had this chronic cough for 10 years. And every October I would get some kind of lung infection, and it would last for 4 months. But I went on that copper protocol, and it cured that. But I don't want to be on like 15 different supplements every day, 4 times a day. So I was thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. And somebody on the Copper Revolution posted something about dry fasting and gave me the link to Michelle Slater's book. So I read, actually I didn't read, I got the audiobook, Starving to Heal in Siberia, I think is the title. And I learned about this crazy thing. Don't drink or eat. And of course, my immediate response was, what? You'll die after 3 days if you don't drink. But I've reached a point where I am ready to try something that sounds super crazy, just for the possibility of having a life where I can think, like maybe construct sentences and not forget words midstream, and have energy. And I don't know, feel that joie de vivre again. I wanna feel alive for my last couple decades, so that's why I'm here. Today is day 4 of my fast and day 2 of the retreat. And leading up to this, for preparation, I only managed a 3-day dry fast, so I already feel a little bit of, what's the word? I'm just glad that I've made it to day 4. And I came here with the goal of making it to day 7. Yes, I did set a goal. But now, after hearing 2 days of Dr. Filonov's lectures, like, holy shit, okay, am I going to do this for 10 days? We'll see. I'm not deciding anything, and I don't think anybody knows or can decide. So today, I feel okay. I feel okay. Day 4 has been very emotional for me, a very heart-opening day. And I was like, oh, number 4, heart chakra, fourth chakra. And I went for a walk this morning, just wandered, and I found the most amazing cypress tree, just fucking huge. And the cypress tree said, come, sit beneath me. And so I did. And I sat beneath the cypress tree. And I could hear some guy on his big machine, he was pounding rocks and breaking them up. And I was like, that's kind of annoying, but I bet he'll stop soon for a coffee break. And sure enough, within about 5 minutes, he stopped. But I sat there and I started to cry. I looked at a flower. The flower made me cry. It was like everything was making me cry. And it felt so good. It just felt so good to release it, to open it up, because I feel like so much that happens here, I don't know, I think it ends up in my head, and my head gets all, and it blocks the flow. And there has to be a flow between the brain and the heart. And I was also just thinking how we as a race are not heart-led. We're mostly led by our head, and that's why we're where we are at right now with the decimation of the planet. And anyway, that got me thinking about a lot of things, but I won't go into that. Speaking to support, of course, I would say almost everybody, it's so predictable, you cannot live for more than 3 days without water. And it's like, yeah, I know, but I just did that, and I did, so I think you can. Plus, Dr. Filonov has seen many patients, and they're still alive. I don't know, maybe he's lost 1 or 2, but then again, don't you lose 1 or 2 in the doctors? Don't you lose lots and lots of people with medication? So it's like, it's always the burden of alternative medicine to be perfect. And that's an unfair expectation, and I think it prevents these wonderful, very approachable, attainable remedies from helping a lot more people. Yeah, I pretty much told everybody that I saw that I was doing this, not on the airplane or in the airport like my friend, but when I told my dad, I told him right after I read Michelle Slater's book, I said, I think I'm going to try this approach to clearing the Lyme disease. And I said, I'm not going to drink or eat for 7 to 10 days. And he says, well, your mom did that for 12 days and she still died. And my mom died 1.5 years ago. And I sat next to her, and she was just not very conscious, and so she couldn't drink or eat, but they kept putting a sponge with water in her mouth to moisten her mouth. And I mean, she was old. She was 80. How old was she? 85? Not too old. So he said, you know, it didn't work for your mother. And I said, well, you know, she was already 85 in a week from cancer treatments, and I said, they did keep putting a sponge with water in her mouth, so technically no dry fasting. Yeah, my friends though, I was hesitant because I felt vulnerable to post this on Facebook. You know, it's just my friends, it's not public, but I have a picture of myself of each day, and I say, hey, I'm on day 2, I'm on day 3, I'm on day 4, and only one person on the first day said, you know, you can't go past 3 days because your body needs water to clear itself of toxins. And I said, not to worry, Carrie. I did a 21-day preparation for this where you clear out the toxins so that your body can handle this. And And then every other response was positive. And you're brave, you're strong, you're the strongest woman that I know. And everybody's been super, super supportive. So I think I will keep posting. But now I'm wondering, am I just being irritating by continually posting? Who knows? We'll figure that out. Yeah, but every day I did set some practices before I started. And one is that I have a little deck of spirit animal cards that when my child was young, we would draw a card every night before they went to bed. And I would draw one too. And it's just a little animal with a little saying under it. And so I've brought that with me, and I've been drawing a card each morning for the day. And yesterday was notice the small things, and it was a picture of a little ladybug. And so as I went on my walk, I just would suddenly just notice, oh, this plant, or this plant, or this bug. I saw a ladybug. And today I drew the card of the raccoons, which was, you have all that you need. So that made me feel like I have inside all that I need to do this. Day 5 for the fast, and day 3 of the retreat, which is really not a retreat. So whatever, day 3 of the healing, the supported healing program. So when I wake up in the morning, what goes through my mind is this saying, in the morning is when I am awake and there is a dawn in me. It's from, I think, Scott Momaday, author. But in the morning, I am awake and I have this heightened energy, and I go for lovely walks. And then by the time it's the afternoon and we do these recordings, I'm just like the Wicked Witch over the West who had the bucket of water dumped on her. Wouldn't that be nice? You melt into a puddle. Anyway, all that to say, yeah, it's kind of weird. Day 5, I'm going very inward. I made signs that said good morning, and on the back is I'm fine. So in the morning I don't have to talk to anybody. I had a headache last night. I haven't had headaches. It was just like a tension in my head, and just noted that. I started out on the beach. I've been sleeping out on the beach every night, and I dig a hole in the sand. I don't sleep on the chairs. And then I carve it to conform to my body. I'm very precise. And so I can fully relax. And last night, yeah, it was, the air was drier than the night before. The night before was full of moisture, and it was like ambrosia to inhale it. So the wind picked up, and I felt like I was drying out. So I came in and went to sleep on my bed. And when I woke up, I'd had these 2 dreams. One was my friend gave birth, but it was a large, like, cardboard egg, and it was cracking and something new was coming out. We didn't know what it was. And then there was another ball, another egg, and it was full of baby chicks, but not just one, like many baby chicks were trying to come out. So it was 2 of these birth images. And what I feel like right now really is that I am like a caterpillar, and I have made my cocoon. And I am in the cocoon now, and there's just a process that's happening that's mysterious that I am not in control of. But it's a metamorphosis. Something is going on. And we'll see 5 days from now, because, yeah, I'm looking at day 10. That's where I'm headed. This doesn't have anything to do with the fast, but when did it become impossible to find darkness? I'm so irritated at the beach at night with all of these spotlights. I love darkness. I relish it. And to me, it's just another symptom of the yang energy that is predominant in the culture right now. Because yin is moistness and darkness. And boy, I don't know. People just love to put up spotlights and make it so that there's no darkness. So I just have to put that out there, because, yeah, we need more darkness. I think it's actually essential to our well-being.
Like, wasn't it John Muir that said wilderness is essential for our soul? Well, I think darkness is essential for our soul. I wrote down some things in case I couldn't think of anything to say. Truth. Yeah, because yesterday I was thinking, day 4, I was with my heart in the 4th chakra and everything was making me cry. I was still crying today, but it feels good because it's just, I'm crying because things are beautiful. And today's 5th chakra, which is the day of truth and wind. So there is wind today. And I was thinking, like, what is my truth? And that's a big question, but I know part of my truth is that I really love working with kids. I've worked with age 3 through age 18 in classrooms and in alternative programs. And I gotta say, 3 and 4-year-olds are awesome to work with because you just play. And there's no layers to get through, they're just pure. And I realized 8-year-olds too, I had a lot of fun with them. I worked in a parochial school, Greek Orthodox school, hilarious. Oh my God, they would do anything I asked them to do. I set them up sitting in the hallways all over the school, meditating. So they would just be sitting with their eyes closed, and all that they had to do was tune out everything. And so when the bell would ring between classes and students would walk by them, all they were supposed to do was just stay like this. And every one of them did it. I only had 12 students though, so we had a really close connection. But they're very receptive, and adults are too difficult. They have too many layers to work through. So I did realize that, and I really miss that. And the last full-time job I had was with 3-year-olds, 3 and 4-year-olds, a forest outdoor preschool. And I just loved those kids. But I had to quit because I got my annual fucking lung infection and it wouldn't go away. So that one took 4 months to get rid of. So I'm really hoping that this works and I can get back to doing what I love. So anyway, I'm gonna go get on that boat with the elves in Rivendell and take off somewhere away from the rest of the world for now. That's it. So day 7 was the goal I set before I started this journey, to trick myself to go on the journey. But now that I'm here, I'm going to go as long as I can, and that I am supported in doing so. So today I'm very tired. I accepted help from one of the wonderful staff. She saw me struggling and she helped me up the stairs, and it was awesome. I gave her a kiss on the shoulder and she gave me a kiss on the cheek. It's like, oh my God, thank you. So I have one story to share. 3 nights ago, I slept on the sand. Well, I've been sleeping on the sand every night, but 3 nights ago, I laid my yoga mat down, then a thin sheet, and then I have a felted wool pad that I always put under my back so that my organs are warm. And then my sleeping bag is down, and I have a duvet cover over my sleeping bag to protect it from the delicious dew water. There was lots of dew a couple nights ago. So this is all great, but I've got these like bony hips, and so when you sleep on the side and they're hitting the hard dirt, it hurts. And I like to sleep on my side, and I kept thinking, I should have brought my camping pad. You know, the one that has the long tubes of air. Those ones work best for your hips when you're on the side. And I said, I just need a mat with long tubes. So the next morning, I'm going off on my walk, and I pass by one of these trash bins, you know, the big kind, where everybody can throw away their pizza boxes, their Coke bottles, wine bottles, baby diapers, everything. But on the top of all this detritus of humanity was one of those cheap inflatable floaty rafts with the long tubes of air. And oh my God, it's a gift from the angels. I grabbed that thing. It was pretty deflated. I could fold it in half and carry it with me on my walk. And last night, out on the beach, I dug a little trench for it, sunk it down in, because they're slippery, right? So the trench keeps it stable, and I built a little wall around the whole thing. And it was fucking bliss, I gotta tell you. And I'm so grateful for the little cheap garbage mat that the angels sent to me. I guess see you tomorrow for one more day in the life of the Walking Dead. Haha, just kidding. Today is day 8 of my fast, day 6 of the amazing, miraculous retreat. I've been sleeping outside every night, but last night I found 2 broken wooden slat beach chairs. So I made a wall here and a wall here and hung a sheet over and braced it. I put some work into it, and I probably went and pushed myself a little bit too far. That's me, like a happy camper, just gonna keep going. So in the middle of the night, the shelter collapsed on top of me, and I did laugh. And then I was like, oh fuck, do I haul all my gear back to the hotel? Because I don't know distances, but maybe 2 football fields away. So instead, I load myself up like a pack mule and walk back up the road to this dark trail that goes between these 3 beautiful trees. If you keep going, there's a bridge over a pond where there's a bunch of frogs. I've never heard frogs sing in so many different ways altogether. Like I kept trying to find two that might speak the same language. I don't know how they're going to work it out. Anyway, I couldn't make it to the bridge. I kind of got too lightheaded about 3 times and fell over. Did not lose consciousness, but I decided to just sleep on the trail. That's what I did. And then the last 3 nights I've been having these wonderful moments of, oh my God, it's too fucking hot. I tear off all my clothes and I just stand in the wind until I start to shake. And then I get back in my sleeping bag and I shake for like, I don't know, 2 minutes. It's just kind of weird and kind of cool to be experiencing something different other than thirst and hunger. But there was too much wind and I felt like I was getting dried out. So I just bunched up all my camping gear, my pads and bag, and even my backpack, and I just threw them like 10 feet. No, I didn't throw them. I didn't have that strength. I plowed through reeds, tall reeds, and dumped them. So they were off site of the trail. I don't think anybody could see it. And then it probably took me between 45 minutes to an hour to walk back to the hotel because I would get lightheaded, and I tried every kind of breath ratio. Nothing mattered. I would just have to sit and rest, usually for like 5 minutes to bring my heart rate down even just a little bit. So anyway, I made it home, and then today I was rescued. Svetlana's dad came and I drew him a map, like a treasure map. We don't share the same language, so I had to make it very visual. And he found my gear and he brought it back. That's my happy story. Today is day 9 of my dry fast. 2 days longer than I planned. And today at clinic? Sure. They sat me up in bed, took my pulse and said, no, your pulse is too high. You're done tomorrow, 5 a.m. And I said, no, I'm fine. It's just you sat me up too fast. They're like, no, your heart rate's too high. No B's for you. You're done. I'm like, okay. So I guess that's it. Yeah, and I got to say, day 9, there's a certain peace about it. I've been very internal, and I'm loving it because nobody else can go there. It's my own private little spot. So anyway, small struggle for large gains. Today is day 8 of the retreat. And I don't know, I guess I say it's day 1 of my refeeding. 5 a.m. this morning, I heard this voice in my head, Christine, drink, you need to drink. I actually argued with that voice and I said, no, I just need to sleep. And then it came again and it was Daniela's voice. She wasn't there, but you know, she in my subconscious mind. Christine, drink. Like, okay, fuck, all right, I'll drink. You'd think I'd be more excited, but I was more excited to sleep. Anyway, I got up, I drank my warm water, and those first few sips, they were sweet. The water was sweet. That was really amazing. So, yeah, here I am, refeeding. I asked yesterday when I went to clinic, like, they all 3 came out. They're like, you're done. Tomorrow you drink. I'm like, well, why? Nobody talked to me about this. I was planning to go to day 10. They're like, oh, no, you're not going to day 10. I said, oh, yeah? How come? And they said, because you're very weak. Look at you. You're crawling. We see you crawling. Okay, if you're crawling, maybe things are not as good as they could be. But I'm like, crawling was just my way of not fainting. If I kept my head down, all was well. And they said, yeah, but we don't want it to be that level. So, anyway, the decision was made. They took my heart rate and then all three again at once. No, no bees for you. No. So it was nice to have people looking out for me. I feel good about that. And I really am enjoying this fruit compote, man. Whew. I hope it's fish soup and not just vegetable soup tonight. Yeah. This line from a movie just came through my head, The Exorcist. So I'm not going to say it. Yeah. This little felted wool hat is from Paris. My husband got it for my child, and they don't wear it. And I was like, I'm going to wear that. So now this felted hat is mine. The end.
Today is day 9 of the retreat and the second day of me eating food. Yeah, I slept 12 hours last night. Holy cow, that was amazing. But the night before, when I was just finishing, I was like, you got to wait until 5 a.m. to drink. But it was interesting because of the few hours up to that, my heart started to hurt in a way that it hadn't before. And all I would do was roll over to grab something, and then my heart rate would go up and my heart would hurt. And I was like, maybe I should just can it and drink some water. But I'm like, no, I'm so close to 5 a.m. So I just stopped moving is what I did, in the hopes that just extending the fast all the way to 5 would be ultimately beneficial. And I haven't made it to very many lectures, but I did go to some lectures, and something stuck in my mind where, like, how long do you keep fasting? Well, you keep going until all your symptoms are gone. So I actually, this was my list, but I'm not going to read it off. This is my list of symptoms that I've been addressing over the last many years of my life. And if I could get rid of half of those, I thought that would be really cool, but who knows? But I was going to say the greatest gift so far that I've experienced was this, just this deep going inward, and just the silence and the stillness of being alone with myself. I'm in love with myself. I just want to hang out with me. And I feel full just by being. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to watch Netflix or talk on the phone or anything. I feel this deep peace. Today is day 10 of the retreat, and it's a 12-day retreat. And I actually messaged my husband yesterday, and I said, I do not have any brain function to do this, but I need you to find me a cheap flight so that I can stay an extra day, because I was just not feeling. It was weird being dizzy all the time, and I don't want to walk through the airport in Istanbul. It's like a freaking 2-mile walk to get from one end to the other. So he did that for me. Thank you, honey. Yes, this was difficult, and I think it's probably the most profound journey that I've ever been on. And the only other thing I can think of that was as grueling was on Saturday at 4 p.m., my contractions started, and I didn't give birth until Wednesday night. And the contractions came every 4 minutes. And so I would fall asleep between birth contractions. But the difference there is, in giving birth, you don't have a choice. And in this, you do. So you could step out whenever you wanted to, and end the process. But no, I was committed, and I wanted to see it through so that I could inspire my husband and my 16-year-old.
to come back, hopefully in March. They've both been struggling with the chronic Lyme and all the other stuff that goes along with it. So I have not been checking into my messages. I have an aversion to my phone and my computer right now. I just don't want to even look at anything that pulls me out. So I sent them a quick message today, told them I love them and I'll talk to them in a couple days. And the other thing I just want to say is, wow, what an amazing group of people that are facilitating this. Like, everybody just has their role and they're supportive. Somebody carries my kettle of water up for me when they see me struggling. Somebody hung up my laundry for me. Like, I came back to my room and my laundry was drying. How miraculous is that? But all of those little things helped me and all of us to just relax and just settle into the process. So it was a remarkable journey, and I thank everybody here for all of their beautiful support.